looking like a baby in the corn. I put the water in the ocean in the city that I'm from.
What's good, guys? We're back. This is the first book of the Delgato series, Capone 1. Shout out to my girl Holly. As I said, she requested that I review the Delgato series, so here you go. Here's book 1. Again, I've already read book 2, so I'll drop book 2's video. I just have to film it, and I'm going to go straight into reading book 3. Anyways, we're going to get into it. So, welcome to the Delgato series. I'm enjoying this series. I'm going to see if I like this series better than The Cartel. I don't think I will, though. The Cartel is just a classic series. Anyways, so we have the characters. We have Capone. We have Capadonna. Capone and Capadonna, they are twins. We have Capri. Capri is their younger sister. We have Aaron. We have Jalen. We have Tasha. We have Aunt Joe. We have Trilla. We have Naeem. And we have Timmy. Right? So these are all the main characters in book 1. There's also Blaze, but yeah. So the book starts with, we meet Erin. So Erin at the time is a 17-year-old girl, right? She just witnessed a murder-suicide. Her father shoots her mother and then kills himself, right? As he kills himself, he mumbles, "I'm sorry." So she sees that, right? She has a younger brother named Jalen. So Jalen is 4 at the time. He's asleep. So when everything goes down, she witnessed this murder-suicide. She goes, takes her brother, sits outside the house. The cops come, right? She goes to the police station. At the police station, she sees her first love, Naeem, locked up. So Naeem doesn't know what's going on with Erin. He's just like, "Why are you here?" Like, at first he thought that she came down to the police station for him, but it wasn't for that. But she gets whisked away, so he doesn't know what happens until he goes to prison, right? He got caught up with some drugs and guns. So that's why he went to prison, right? So Erin and her brother moves in with her Aunt Joe and Raya. I forgot the other character, Raya. Raya is Erin's cousin, Aunt Joe's daughter. And they're really close. So Aunt Joe is Erin's mother's twin sister. So, every day Erin has to wake up and see her aunt and sees her mother and her aunt, but no, that's not her mother, right? But anyways, Aunt Joe did her thing. But Erin is on the type of timing where, like, I love Aunt Joe, but I'm not going to allow her to carry the burden of raising me and my brother, right? So although they live with Aunt Joe is present, Raya is present, but Erin takes on most of the responsibility of raising her brother. Like, she gets a job, she cooks, she cleans, she does all that. Like, she declined going to college because she didn't want to do that and leave her brother. And Aunt Joe encouraged her to go, but she's just like, no. So she grew up faster than she expected. But she has nightmares and she has PTSD. So whenever she hears like a loud bang or gunshot, she freezes. So there's a lot there. At the same time, Jalen is now 16. Erin is now 30. She's 30. She works as a MTA bus driver. She's making ends meet. However, it's just a lot going on. She doesn't have a life because of everything that happened with her parents and the stress. She developed alopecia. I forgot the full name for it. She developed alopecia, so she lost all her hair, so now she's bald. So she wears wigs. She's still fire though, but she's insecure about being bald because of everything. So Erin truly went through a lot, right? And on top of that, in the police station, when she was 17 years old, Naeem promised to write her a letter when he went to prison. He did not do that. So she's just like, what? Anyway, so now we meet Jalen. Jalen is 16 years old. He has aspirations of going to the NBA. He's really good. However, they live in the hood in Brooklyn, and he's hanging out with the wrong crowd. Especially, he has a best friend named Timmy, who Timmy means him no good. But Timmy had the same goals of wanting to play basketball, going to school. His mother makes him drop out of school because the mother is the hood's most famous crack cooker you can know. Her name is Tasha, right? So Tasha wants Timmy to be the biggest gangster drug dealer kingpin there is. So she makes him drop out of school. She wants him to get in with the drug dealers. I'm stuttering. Get in with the drug dealers to start learning the block, right? And you could tell Timmy has resentment and anger, especially when it comes towards his best friend Jalen, and the support that he receives from his sister, and how Aaron is so strict with Jalen, right? At the same time, Jalen feels smothered by Aaron, so he's acting out, he's smoking weed. Aaron doesn't like Timmy. Aaron knows that Timmy is jealous and envious and wishes her brother no good, but Jalen is rebelling, and he doesn't see what Aaron is saying, because he's just like, Aaron doesn't let him do anything. She's too strict. Like, he can't even do anything. So now he's acting out, and she doesn't know how to control that and how to manage that and how to deal with that. So she yells and she threatens to hit him, and she does all these things. But at the same time, she works hard. She works doubles to get him sneakers and to put him into basketball camp and to all these things. So he's at the age where, like, he recognizes what Aaron is doing, but because Aaron is not allowing him any sense of freedom, which I believe that she should have, but she's also overprotective because she doesn't, her fears that he is going to get shot and caught up with the wrong crowd, and she's going to have to bury her brother like she did her parents. So all of these fears she doesn't voice to Jalen. And I should say that he doesn't know what happened to his parents. She told him that their parents died in a car crash. So she wants to save him the trauma of that. But everybody in the hood knows what happened. So I'm like, it's just surprising to me that he doesn't know yet, or if he does know now, that why he hasn't said anything. But I believe that if it ever comes out, she's gonna have a bigger stuff on her hands to deal with. But yeah, the way Timmy was acting, Timmy's disrespectful to Aaron, flirting with Aaron, all that, like, and Jalen doesn't check it. And I'm just like, hold on now. So anyways, so there's that. So one day, Aaron comes home from work. She sees Jalen, Timmy, and a girl named, what's her name? Josie? Oh, that's another character. Josie. Right, in the room. So Jalen knows that there's not supposed to be anyone in their home. So when she opens the door, she sees them and she's like, "Get out, you smoking, da da da." So they leave. She gets mad. She presses Timmy one day at the corner store. She's about to slap him, and then she slaps him, and then he goes to hit her back, and somebody's like, "Yo, you about to put your hands on her," and then she recognizes the voice. She's like, Naeem. So this is the first time she's seen Naeem again after all those years. He's a grown man. He's a drug dealer. He's out of prison. She's just annoyed. She's like, whatever, but he saved her. And he's like, oh, we need to talk, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay. But she's like, damn, like, he looks good. He's doing well. But she sees the ring on his finger. So she's like, that's clipped, whatever. At the same time, in the store is Capone. Capone watched the whole interaction between Aaron and Timmy and Naeem. So he's like, when he sees Aaron, he just automatically know that, like, there's something about her, especially because she had got off her bus to do that. And he's like really, really attracted to her. And Capone is the biggest kingpin drug dealer, right? But Capone. Anyways, so there's some fictional characters that you just like, right? So Capone was like, to Naeem, like, who is that? He's like, oh, E, that's my friend from childhood. So Capone is like, you better not be messing with her because you married to my sister. Naeem is like, nah, like, that's basically my man's. So Naeem is married to Capri, which again, I already made that introduction in the beginning of the book, right? Capadonna is in prison. Capadonna is in prison because of something that Capone did. Like, it was like a gun. It's for a gun charge. He got Capadonna got caught. He didn't want to snitch on Capone, so he took the time. I think he went down at 20. He got sentenced to 15 years, right? So they're now 38. So Capone is on that type of time, and like, he just feel regret that Capodanno's been doing all those years, but you know, they still close. Capodanno's basically like, listen, like chill out, like I'm about to be home soon, don't even worry about that, like we good to go, relax yourself, right? They go see him in jail. Yeah, so Naeem and Capri is together. He met Capri while he was locked up in jail with Capodanno. Naeem didn't have anything. Capodanno put Naeem on, you know, treated him like family. They got close, and then Naeem started sitting down in on their visits, and that's how he met Capri, right? But at the same time, Naeem is just is a man, and he's cheating on his girl. But anyways, that's I'm stuttering. That occurred in book 2, but I just want to put that part in here. Right. Anyway, so we're back to it. So Capone ends up going to a barbecue. Erin goes to the same barbecue. Erin doesn't have a social life. Her social life is either going out with her cousin Raya, right? So Raya invites Erin to go to a barbecue. Erin agrees. At the barbecue, a man tried to. Erin doesn't know that the barbecue that they went to, the man charges for food. So she's like, oh, I don't have cash, but can I pay with like Cash App or something like that? He get disrespectful, like, oh, you can give me head for this plate of food. Capone comes up behind her, goes off on the guy. But everybody's scared of Capone. And the guy's just like, oh no, my fault. And then, you know, Erin turns around, sees Capone, and she's like, damn, taken back by his beauty. Or whatever. So at that time, you know, they chatting. He buys her the food. Shots ring out. She takes off running down the block. At first, before she takes off running down the block, though, she frees, and Capone watches everything that happens. But after a while, she realized, like, yo, I gotta go get my cousin. She finds Ryan and take off running down the block, right? Naeem ends up saying that, you know, checking on them. Anyways, fast forward, right? So you fast forward. I got my notes here. So, hold on, which part we at? So Capone is trying to do more research on Erin, because he's really like, yo, like I really like this girl. I really like this girl. And I forgot there's another main character, Elle. So Elle is Capone's baby mother. Capone has a son, Capone Jr. Elle and Capone used to be best friends, but they crossed the line. They had a kid. Elle is in love with Capone. Capone is not in love with Elle. However, he continues to have sex with her because it's easy. He doesn't trust. He doesn't come out. Nobody really knows much about Capone or his family, right? So Elle is on the type of time like, you know, I want to be with you. Capone's just like, I'm not in love with her. I don't want her like that. But he keeps smashing. And they lost a baby girl, Naomi, she was stillborn, right? So Elle is on the type of time like, yo, I want to have another kid with you. It's time. At one point, Capone promised to have that kid with her, but he's just like, now that he sees Erin, like he knows Erin is his wife. And it's funny because in the book, like, when he runs into Erin again, like, he tells her, like, you know, he calls her, like, my wife, this, that, and third, right? So, after the whole shootout thing, Capone ends up finding out her bus route, hops on her bus, and she's like, you ride the bus? He's like, I do, because I want to talk to you. They end up switching numbers. He's like, I'm taking you on a date tonight. They end up, you know, they don't link right then and there because Capone, sorry guys, I'm trying not to look at the notes, but I'm remember everything. I don't want to mix book 1 and book 2 up. Anyways, so I should have mentioned earlier that Capone suffers from sickle cell anemia. Not many people know that. So there's times where he's just in so much pain that he cannot move, right? So the time that he promised to take her on a date, he gets really sick. So he doesn't show up. He doesn't say anything. None of that. So she's pissed off. Like, she went to tell her cousin about it. Her cousin know who Capone is, and all that. But because he doesn't show up, she's pissed off. So there's that. So then there was a situation where Capone had popped up on her and was like, "Oh, listen, like I've been texting you, you're not answering." She's basically like, "Listen, you stood me up. I don't know what type of woman you've been messing with, but I'm not that type of woman." And then he's just like, "I have things to handle." She was like, basically, your phone work. He's like, "You're right," and he wants another chance with the woo. And then he has like a commanding, authoritative presence, so she kind of falls in line, right? So they start getting to know each other. At one point, he had popped up on her, and she was like sleeping, and she had her scarf off. And when he popped up on her, he seen that she was bald headed she had patches because she didn't shave her head, and she was like, oh, grabbing her scarf because she's insecure, right? So I'm fast forwarding a lot of it because again, I don't want to go through the whole book, right? So the time that he popped up on her, she had came home from work, right? Again, she was tired. She had came home from work, and she found out that her brother got Josie, I forgot her name, Josie pregnant. And she's trying to figure out like what's going to happen. Janet's just basically being rude about it. The girl doesn't want to get an abortion because the girl mother brought her to the house. So she had to deal with that. And the girl mother just left her there. Shannon is the mother's name. Shannon just left Josie there. So Aunt Joe's like, she's pregnant by Jaden. Like, we're going to take her in. So she starts staying in Aunt Joe's basement. So while the whole time Aaron's trying to talk to Jaden about it and like make it make sense, he's just being mad rude and nonchalant. So when Capone popped up on them, she's about to go off on Jalen, like hit him, and then Capone drags her, grab her up and brings her out the house. And that's when she realized that, her scarf and this, that, and the third, and that she don't have no wig on and all that. So Capone ends up taking her to his house, and that's the first time that she goes to his house, and she's realized like what type of money he has, right? And then he basically accepts her bald head. He's like, like, you look beautiful out the wig. Like, I'm not the type of man that cares about that. Like, you just more beautiful to me, and I want you. You are mine, and that's that. And I'm like, damn. Like, okay, okay. Shoot, there we go. So let me fast forward. Hold on. All right. So at the barbecue, what happened at the barbecue is that shots rang off, right? So Capone had to deal with one of his people getting emotional, pulling out his gun and shooting someone, right? It just so happened that the person that he shot is a part of a crew that he's had beef with. How can I say this? So the person one of Capone's people shot another member of a rival drug crew, right? And the person who runs that drug crew is Trilla. So Trilla used to employ Capone and Capadonna, right, when they were teenagers, because we know the story. Family members, parents can't make ends meet, tired of seeing struggling, can't eat, can't this and the third, right? Their parent Capone and Capadonna's parents do not like that they involved in the drug game. However, they wasn't gonna stop Capone and them from doing it, so they was able to retire. They from Barbados, you know the story, right? So, like I said, Capone and Capadonna used to work for Trilla, right? Trilla used to think he's big. Trilla used to and still think he's bigger than the program. He's just a selfish individual, right? So Capone is really smart. Capone used to tell Trilla, like, okay, this is what you can do to expand your business. Even when he was a teenager, telling Trilla this, he's like, this is what you can do to expand your business, right? Trilla's just like, basically stay in the kid's place. So Capone told Trilla, like, if you buy a trucking business, like, you could just move mad drugs and go under the radar. Again, Trilla disregarded it, right? So when everything went down with Capadonna, Capone I can't remember if he went to Trilla or expected Trilla to help out with a lawyer. Trilla was basically left Capodanno for dead in jail. He didn't help out. Capone left his organization, right? There was prior to that, Trilla had went to jail. He expected Capone to run his business. While he was in jail, Capone's just like, F out of here. Like, you did not help my brother. My brother is sitting in jail. You didn't offer a lawyer fee. Trilla wanted Capone to help with lawyers and all that. And Capone was just like, no. So when Trilla went to jail, things went downhill. Capone took matters into his own hand. He has a cousin in Barbados who his father introduced him to, who grows their own like coke seeds or whatever it's called. So he gets his drug straight from Barbados from his cousin. It's a family business. He bought a trucking business, bought multiple trucks. So he has $1 million legitimate business, right? On top of that, he has $1 billion drug game business. So they're filthy rich. So Trilla is out of jail now. Trilla is jealous. Trilla is so jealous because Trilla wanted Capone to humble himself. And Capone is like, I know who I am. I know what I want. And Trilla realized that, Capone is never going to be a yes man or take. He has to be his own man. So Trilla already knew what it was, but Trilla regrets that. So when Trilla came home, it was kind of like an unspoken peace treaty. Like, Trilla stays to his side, Capone stays to his side, and it is what it is, right? But when Capone's soldier shot Trilla's soldier, it's like Trilla just used that to be like, oh, it's beef, it's open war in the streets, right? But again, he's just a jealous man. So there's that. So we're gonna fast forward. So Trilla recognized that Timmy is friends with Jalen, right? So Timmy is working for Trilla. So Timmy works for, like, does little errands for Naeem, but Naeem does not want not Trilla. Trilla is the other drug boss, right? Timmy is Jalen's best friend. Timmy does little errands for I'm sorry guys, I mixed something up. I didn't mix something up. I forgot to mention that when Jalen and Aaron was arguing about the baby and money, stuff like that, Jalen threw a knot of money at Aaron. It was like, oh, I got my own money, I take care of my own kid, I don't need you for nothing. And when Capone was there, Capone looked at the cash and saw that it was a blue stem, and he saw that blue stem is Trilla's signature, his MO. So he knows that whatever Jalen is into, Timmy got him into it, and he's doing stuff for Trilla. So, he's making a mental note, right? So when Timmy goes to Trilla asks about, oh, where's your man's Jalen? So Jalen is like, where's Jalen? So Timmy's like, oh, he's running with Capone now. Again, Aaron and Capone is, now messing around. They together. Again, guys, I'm fast forwarding. So Trilla decides to put, like, a backbone into Timmy and tell Timmy, like, oh, Jalen is now the op. How could he be running with us? Now he's running with Capone. Like, that's not cool. Like, you need to do something about it, right? So Trilla wants Timmy to go kill Jalen because he knows that if he does that, it's gonna hurt Capone because Capone is messing with Jalen's sister. But he also knows by doing that, it's sending Timmy on a suicide mission. But again, Trilla doesn't care. I'm gonna pause right here. I want to also note that Capone, at one point in the story, Capone looked into what happened with Aaron's parents' death because he has Capodanno's best friend, 40, is an agent, right? So when he looked into Aaron's parents' death, he found out that Aaron's dad used to run drugs across the state for Trilla, right? And he was taking money off the top, and his wife knew because Aaron attended private schools, like they was well off, right? So Trilla found out. Trilla told the father, you either kill yourself and your wife or I'm going to kill your kids. To avoid that, the father killed the mother and then killed himself, and that's why he muttered, "I'm sorry," before killing himself. So, we find that out. So Capone finds that out, but Capone doesn't tell Aaron. He knows that he has to tell Aaron, but he doesn't know when. And Capone always tell Aaron, like, I'm a man of my word, like, I'm going to protect you, this, that, and everything, right? So I'm like, damn, like, I just knew something was up. I just knew something was up. So everything comes back connected to Triller, right? Because Triller is a snake. Triller is a snake. Like, he will put anybody down to save himself, right? And the way the book describes him, he's not even that cute. So anyways, because Triller puts that battery in Timmy's back to go do something to Jalen, Aaron had asked Capone to talk to Jalen, right? Because she recognized that Jalen needs a man-to-man talk, and Capone offered to speak to him too. So Capone was like, okay, I'm gonna go pick him up from basketball practice. So they chopping it up, woo-de-woo, whatever. And Capone is supposed to drive Jalen home straight after basketball practice, but they happen to drive past a block where Josie's house. So when they drive in, Jalen's like, "Oh, what she's doing over here? What she's doing over here?" Josie is arguing with Timmy in front of her house. So Jalen hops out the car. At the same time, Naeem is present because Naeem and was coming out of Tasha's house, right? Tasha's house. Tasha cooks. Not Tasha's house, the trap house, because Tasha cooks the crack or whatever, right? So Naeem and Capone is chopping it up. Next thing you know, shots ring out. Timmy shoots Jalen, right? And he shoots Josie. And he shoots Josie in the stomach and the chest. Mind you, she's with child, right? And Jalen really loves Josie. Like, Jalen's like, I'm gonna handle my responsibility. Like, I love her, right? Timmy tries to get away. Naeem catches him. Then Capone is pissed off because Capone was supposed to take Jalen home, right? So now Jalen just got shot in Capone's care. He knows that this is Aaron's fear. Like, Aaron did not want to go through this. He doesn't know what is going to happen, how Aaron is going to react. He's scared. Well, he's scared, but he doesn't show that he's scared. He's pissed off. So he's like, oh, nah. So they call they call the ambulance, whatever. And he goes to shoot Timmy in the face. Tasha comes out and is like, don't shoot him. Well, they in the house, whatever. But Tasha comes out and, like, from left field, they're like, don't shoot him, don't shoot him, don't shoot him. Capone, that's your son. That's your son. And he looks up at her like, what? What? So I'm like, what the hell? Naeem didn't hear this, by the way. So he had grabbed Timmy from Naeem, went in the house about to kill him. Just to let you know. So the only person that was set in front of was him and Timmy, right? So he doesn't shoot Timmy. He tells Naeem to stay here. He goes back to jail and he's like, hold on, the ambulance comes, picks both of them up. He tries to call Aaron. Aaron is not answering. He calls Aunt Joe. Aunt Joe rushes to the hospital. And yeah. We're going to pause there because that's the end of, well, I went a little into book 2, but that's the end of book 1. He finds out that Timmy is allegedly his son from Tasha. Tasha is hysterical. Jalen is shot. Joyce is shot. Book 1 ends. Stay tuned for book 2.